Hello, agentpreneurs, and welcome back to the Daily List Report. As you saw, we have back on the show Loida Velasquez, one of my all-time favorite guests from Team BC at EXP. We've done a bunch of content with her, and she's got a bunch of great content on her website. A couple things to point out. First one is New in Real Estate Bootcamp. We also did an episode for agents who are new in the business. Definitely check out her bootcamp. There's some amazing content there, and you're going to get access to Loida herself. Second thing is Instagram. Please give her a follow on Loida Velas. All those links are below. She has some really great content. And lastly, she's an excellent YouTuber, way better than I am, and she's got a ton of good content on YouTube. So please give her a subscribe and check out the amazing content that she has there. And of course, while you're here, please consider subscribing to this channel. That little bell, just click the little button in the bell. It's real easy. Click that and feel free to share this channel with those around you. All right. Today we are talking about negotiating commission costs. This is something that comes up time and time again, especially in this market. I talk to agents and they're like, hey, what do I do? Because this seller is like, look, all we have to do is put a sign in the yard and this thing will sell. So why are you asking so much commission? Today we're going to get Loida's perspective on that. All right, Loida, welcome back to the show.
Yes, thanks, Randy. I'm definitely excited to talk about this topic because I know it's something very popular right now, the way that the market is.
It's huge right now, right? I mean, we're looking at homes that are going over asking. So forget the commission on the listing price, right? You might even get more money on top of that. Tons of offers. These things are selling, like hotcakes, it feels like. So this comes up a lot, as you said, and agents are talking to me about this and like, what am I supposed to say to a seller who says, look, I want a discount. This market is too hot. This is too much money for you. What do you say?
Well, first of all, at the end of the day, we get paid to deliver a result. And what I have seen, because even when I'm looking for properties for my buyers, the agents that do take the properties at a discount or even offer a discount commission to the buyer's agent, many times they end up doing a disservice to the sellers. And this is what they do. A lot of the times I see very bad pictures. A lot of the times they don't present the offers that other agents send in. Because ultimately, since they're taking properties at a discounted commission, since it's so much smaller than a traditional maybe 5 or 6 or 7%, they want to make sure that they procure their own buyer. So a lot of these listing agents that are taking discounted commissions are just not doing their fiduciary duty to their seller in representing them with the marketing and doing as much as possible for them to get them top dollar. They just want to get their own buyer as well.
You said something really important. I think that's the essence of all of this, is your job as a real estate agent, all of you watching right now, if you don't know this already, you will now, right? It's the outcome, right? It's not about how long it takes. And, I don't know if this is a good analogy or not, Loida, but here's what it makes me think about. We have attorneys that we work with, right? You have attorneys that you work with, and we've worked with attorneys that, my goodness, their hourly rate is astronomical, north of $1,000 an hour. And in that case, you're paying them by time, right? But the reason that they cost that much is because they have so much experience and they can shortcut. And they're also trying to help with an outcome, which is mitigating risk for the business, or if you're in a lawsuit, winning that lawsuit, right? So I think the analogy is important. I think it matters, but at the end of the day, you are selling an outcome, which is you want to sell your home. My job is to get you top dollar for that home as quickly as possible, period, full stop. And if you're so lucky to hire me and I happen to know, the whole world of people, or I have the best photographer, that's why you're choosing me, right? So that's where you have to anchor the value.
Yeah, exactly. It's all of the experience that I bring. I'm worth every single penny. And it doesn't mean that I'm charging you too much. It means that you're going to get the best result. I'm going to negotiate the best price and the best terms for you so that once we do accept an offer, it's going to be a flawless transaction. You're not going to have any headaches. I'm not going to have any headaches, because sometimes these headaches, or if something is not done correctly, it's what either makes or breaks the deal. And then all of the parties are kind of mad at each other, and that's something that we want to avoid. So by having a good agent that knows what they're doing and that knows their value, that's ultimately just one of the pieces of why owner needs to be very careful with who it is that they decide to hire for the sale of the property.
That makes sense. And Loida, let's role play a little bit, right? You like this. So, we're sitting in a listing presentation, right? I've invited you into my home, right? And you say to me, wow, lovely home. And I say, thank you very much, Lloyd. I appreciate that. And we start talking about a deal, and I say, I want to sell. How do you set an expectation with me of what the commission is? How do you actually do that so that maybe I don't ask you the question for a discount, right? Or if I do, I should know why you're not going to discount.
Yes. So something that I do with every single seller and something that I would do with you is that I would send you a pre-listing packet. In that packet, which could be a PDF or a video, I would share with you everything that I bring to the table and why I'm worth what I'm worth and the commission that I'm asking for. So it's going to tell you my marketing plan, my action plan, my negotiation skills, testimonials from past clients, my list to sales price ratio. Everything is going to be on there, because then at the point that we're at the meeting, or later on we end up meeting again and you ask me, oh, well, can you discount your commission? Then I'll say, well, did you have a chance to take a look at everything that I sent over and what it is that I do and why I'm worth it? And then at that point they say, oh yeah, I did. Okay, so do you think I'm worth less than that? And that's just me. That's how I talk with these sellers. And then at that point, if they have interviewed other agents, so they will tell me, oh, well, you know what, Joe Schmo came and he doesn't do all of this. Well, yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't get paid until I deliver a result. And once we sell your home, you get maybe 20, 30, 50,000 more than the asking price. Then, Mr. Seller, would you agree that at that point I was worth every single penny that you paid?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. And let's be honest, Loida, right? Typically, when somebody is selling a home, there is a time urgency to it, right? Maybe they're moving, maybe they got a new job, or they need to sell so they can get an offer and remove a contingency, whatever. Like, there's almost always urgency involved. So really it is about that confidence. Do you trust that I am going to get top dollar and I'm going to find a buyer more quickly than someone else? If so, that 1% difference or whatever it might be is almost insignificant in that broader context.
Yeah. And we can get so detailed into this, because another part of having a good agent that knows what they're doing, that has experience, is when it comes to negotiating offers. Just because you get an offer above the asking price, it doesn't mean that it might be the best one. But you have to have a seasoned agent that knows what they're doing to be able to weed out which are the good offers and which offers are from buyers that are not even fully approved. And I say that because a lot of agents, what they don't do is that listing agents, maybe they get offers, the buyer sends the purchase agreement, they send in a pre-approval letter, but they don't take the next step to maybe call the lender or confirm that that buyer is fully approved. And if you were to accept an offer from a buyer that hasn't even submitted their paperwork, thinking, oh, they're paying 20, 30,000 above asking price, what ends up happening is that maybe the buyer doesn't get a loan. Now you fall out of escrow. You now wasted 2-3 weeks. Now you have to put the home back on the market, and it just makes the seller lose money every single month, especially if they still have a mortgage.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. Are there any circumstances under which you would cut your commission?
Circumstances, I mean, ultimately, I do the full commission, the 6%, unless I'm with the seller that's adamant. They're like, nope, I'm not going to sign 6%, and I'm already there. The way that my mindset is that I'm not going to walk away from that home or that seller while I'm there. I'm going to do everything that I can. If I end up representing the buyer, I'll let them know, you know what, if I bring my own buyer, maybe I'll do it for 5%, and that's what we can negotiate. But at the end of the day, I mean, again, I don't get paid until you get your paycheck as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, right? That I think that this industry, from a real estate agent's perspective, I think suffers from, and I wish that the industry as a whole did a better job of educating people on this, is I think that the average person thinks it's easy. They're like, you're going to take some pictures, you're going to put a sign in the yard, it's going to be syndicated all over the place, you're going to do an open house, someone's going to buy it, and then that's it. And I think that's how consumers think about the process. But way better than I do all the things that can go wrong along the way. And I wish there were a way, and I don't know if you have any ideas, I wish there were a way for us to do a better job as an industry in educating people that this is fraught with risk, that as a real estate agent, like you said, you don't get paid until there's success, right? So you're putting your time on the line. If the deal falls
Yeah.
through, you get zero. In fact, you probably have invested money in the
Hmm.
deal, and so you've lost money. And I just don't think that people understand that.
Yeah, I don't. And something else that I do tell these homeowners when they try to ask for a discount is that I ask them, well, Mr. Seller, what do you do for a living? And then they'll tell me, okay, well, if I told you, you know what, I want to hire you, but I'll only pay you half of what you're worth, are you going to do it? And they're going to say no. So in essence, it's kind of like the same thing. You're asking me
Yes.
to take a pay cut to do an excellent job and get you the most money for your home.
Yeah, absolutely. One last question I want to ask you before we wrap today, Loida, is I don't know, maybe I'll call it the new agent gut check, right? And what I mean by that is that say you're a newer agent and you don't have a huge pipeline, you don't have tons of deals. Having the courage, right, to say no to something, it's such a powerful word. It's such a difficult thing to do, right? So imagine now, you're an agent and you come to me and you haven't had a deal in a while and you're a relatively new agent. And I say, I want you to cut your commission. Man, it's hard to say no to that, isn't it?
At the end of the day, and I want to make this clear for everyone, the moment that you discount your commission, now in the seller's eyes, they see it like, okay, well, I was able to get away with discounting their commission. Let's see what else I can get from them. And then also what I've noticed is that anytime you do discount your commission, sometimes it just becomes full of headaches throughout the transaction because maybe they think that they can take advantage of you, or, well, you took it for less, like, why don't you help us with the credit, or why don't you give us a kickback and things like that.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Loida. I've run a bunch of different companies in my life, and one of them was a services company. It's like an ad agency, let's call it. And I remember a time early on when I took a client who was kind of the same thing, asking for a discount, right? And I said yes to it. And to your point, they turned out to be the biggest pain in the ass you could ever imagine. They were just a terrible client. And I think that's a really good reminder. I'm glad you brought that up, that you could take this and you're like, great, I got a deal. But man, one bad deal, one bad client can make your life hell. And it could turn into terrible reviews and all sorts of things that will follow you in your early career.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I have noticed. That's what other agents that have done it have noticed and gone through as well. And we deal with so many different personalities and so many different scenarios that if we can avoid that, if I can avoid it, I'm totally going to avoid it. And I'd rather pass than take on a listing where someone just wants to like beat me for commission and a whole bunch of other things.
Amen. Well said. Lloyd, is there anything I missed on the commission discussion that you want to cover today?
Um, well, something that I have noticed is that a lot of for sale by owners, and I want to bring this up before we wrap it up. A lot of for sale by owners think that, oh, you know what? I don't need a real estate agent right now because the market's so hot. I can totally sell this myself. I've been calling all these FSBOs, and when I ask them, how many offers do you have? Sometimes they tell me, oh, I have two, I have three. And when I ask them, okay, so are you going to accept one or how are you moving forward? Many of them tell me, oh, I'm just going to wait to see who's going to give me the most. So that just goes to tell you that these for sale by owners have no clue how to negotiate.
That's right.
If I'm a real estate agent and if I have multiple offers, now the seller has the advantage to see, you know what, let's send out some counters and see who's going to pay the most. But all of these for sale by owners and some homeowners, they have no clue how negotiations work. And if they think that, I don't need a real estate agent, potentially they're leaving money on the table.
Absolutely. And that's clear. And I think there's tons of data, over decades to support, right, the price that you get by using an agent versus trying to sell it on your own. In particular, in this market, you're right. You're like, look, you could have 20 offers if you worked with me. I mean, you would never promise that, but you know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah.
reality of the market today. Wonderful. All right, Loida, thank you so much for coming back on the show and for sharing all of your knowledge and all of your wisdom. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks, Randy. It's always a great time coming to the list report.
Thank you. We'll have you on again real soon, I'm sure.
Yes, thanks.
Well, there you have it. There's today's show. One more reminder here. I just want to pull this up again because I think it's pretty cool. Is Loida's boot camp, new in real estate boot camp. That link is below. Please check that out. There's all of these tips and tricks and really cool stuff that you can learn from Loida is available for you right there. So definitely check that out. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Definitely check out the other episodes that we've done together. There's some really great content about a day in the life and social media. And man, we've covered a lot of ground together, which is awesome. Definitely head over to her channel and give her a subscribe. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, be safe, be healthy, be happy, stay strong on these commissions, okay? It's worth it, and you're selling the outcome, okay, not the time that you're putting into the deal. Thanks a lot.